Hello fellow commanders and welcome to Field of Glory 2 Medieval with me, Bubba Box, and a big thanks to Slytherin Matrix Games for sending me a press copy of this game to show off on the channel. The game releases, I believe, on the 4th of February next year, 2021, all being well, and maybe subject to some minor changes before release. Today we're going to have a look probably at one of the tutorials because just to show the game, how it looks, how it plays, etc. Now, as I say, I'm no expert in this game, so there could be some mishaps along the way, but I'm open to any suggestions in the comments below as to how to improve my playstyle. But I'm probably going to be playing this game a fair bit on the channel in the coming week or two because I really like the medieval era. I have played Field of Glory 2, the original game, or the follow-up to the original game. I guess Field of Glory was the original game, but Field of Glory 2. Because I didn't really go for the era at that time that they were setting the game, but I love the medieval era with the knights and, you know, the archers, crossbowmen. I don't know whether they have macemen, stuff like that in the game, catapults, bombards, all that sort of thing I believe are in the game as you progress. But today we're going to head into one of the tutorials. I will just say before I start, as this is kind of a first look video, I guess, there is a decent tutorial. I have started to play the first battle just to get my eye back into the game. There's a number of battles. There are campaigns, which are basically strings of battles placed together at random, although you do, I believe, carry your armies forward through each of the battles so they gain experience and you kind of keep the same units as long as they don't die. Or I don't know if they rout if they come back onto the field. I'm not sure on that one. There's play by email multiplayer, and there is also a scenario editor. But as I say, we're going to jump into one of the tutorials to start with. The first tutorial, the one where we believe playing as the French. Yep, Low Countries 1216. The first tutorial scenario will show how to play the basics of the game. I decided to start here rather than going into a big battle. One, to remind myself how to play the game, and two, as this is a standalone game, I believe, not a DLC to the original game. This is a standalone game. There'll be lots of new players, I guess, coming straight into this game and might want to, alongside me, learn how to play the game a little bit, as well as showing off the graphics, how the game looks, and stuff like that. So we're going to go into the first one. It's 1216 AD, I guess. The citizens of Lille, chafing after under the rule of King Philip II of France, have risen in rebellion. King Philip has sent a force to squash the rebellion. Okay, so I guess we're playing as the Kingsmen, as the French. So you are Estienne de Brac, whatever that says, commander of the army sent to King Philip of France to crush the rebellious citizens of Lille. The citizens' spearmen are tough and would probably defeat your own spearmen, so you dismount some of your knights in order to match them. The city knights are not as experienced or effective as ours, and despite dismounting more than half our knights, we still outnumber them. That's good to know. Our left flank is secured by a deep hill and marsh from which we can pour bolts and arrows against the rebel flank. Try to concentrate shooting against one or two units rather than spreading it evenly. That makes sense, I guess. Concentrate your fire, kill one thing at a time. We overlap the enemy on our right and may be able to execute a flank charge. Flank charges are most effective when the enemy is already engaged in close combat. To qualify as a flank charge, the charging unit must start its whole move behind the enemy flank. An attack of 45 degrees doesn't count, basically. Okay. Now it's your turn. Move anywhere. Well, I've kind of had a look at the beginning, but this is just going to show you, be telling you the very basics of movement. There is ability to like... oh, I will read this a little bit out though. This is quite interesting in case you want to know. In most battles, this is about the victory conditions, are based on how many of the enemy you actually rout, or how many of your enemy are routed. The standard victory conditions which apply, unless the briefing notes state otherwise, are that victory is achieved by routing either 40% or more of their enemy forces while having 25% less routing oneself, or alternatively by routing 60% of the enemy forces without having 60% routed oneself. So I guess that means you can, there's different routes to victory. You can like really go for it, or you can have a more attritional long-term kind of battle to get the most percentage kills and try to hold on to your percentage. I guess that's how that goes. Okay, that's just some basic movement. So you can you can tilt, you can rotate, of course, zoom in and out, all that good stuff. So there's the enemy over there. These are their decent looking Low Countries spearmen. They've got some knights on the flanks. They've got this vehicle at the back here, this standard wagon, which boosts the morale of the enemy. If we could kill that, they would be much more enticed to break and rout. We've got some crossbowmen on either of their flanks. Now ourselves, if you go over, we've got some peasants over here, really basic units. Excuse me. They're disordered at the moment because they're in the forest. We'll soon get them out of the forest. But not that useful, but good if they can get them to do a flank attack, I find. We've got our big boss man here. He's our commander with some knights. He can battle, and you can transfer your commander from unit to unit. I think if it's within 4 hexes, or 4 squares, should I say. On our left, we've got this marsh ground and some high ground, and it's always good if you shoot from high ground. I think it's got to be, the higher the better, to get more damage done. We've got some archers. With your basic archers, you don't want them in close combat. They're going to be shooting from a distance wherever possible. Good against light unarmored units, other archers, just, yeah, basically. And then we've got our crossbowmen. They're good against kind of mounted and armoured units, I guess. And they can also double up as a kind of half-strength swordsman as well if you need them to do a bit of close combat action. So the crossbowmen, although they do, of course, fire more slowly. Alright, so you can move your units singly, or you can move them as a command group all together. So if you highlight these, you can move both of these, or you can move one at a time. What else we got? We've got some spearmen over here. Good for defense, not very good for attack. But they're there just to soak up the damage, not do too much attacking. However, our dismounted knights are a lot better at attacking. These are our best units, I guess, we've got in the our knights and our mounted knights. They look fantastic. Look at those colours. I think they look really, really good. And you can zoom in a fair way and have a good look at your dudes if you really want to. I tend to stay fairly zoomed out so I can see what's going on the battlefield. But yeah, they're our strongest units. We'll be using them a great deal in this battle. On the left, right here as well, we've also got some mounted archers. I believe, I can't remember what they are. I think these are good against mounted. Yeah, mounted crossbowmen, actually, not mounted arch. Well, it says, are they crossbowmen? Oh, they're mounted crossbowmen. Okay, so they're good against other knights. Okay, cool. But and can evade their charges. More effective against mounted troops and infantry. Interesting. Okay, I think that's kind of all of our units. Right, let's have a look at the battlefield. So they're all coming down the centre. We've got some nice knights on this side. And they've got some crossbowmen. So I think we're going to just, every time you fire, use action points. Every time you move, use action points. Every time you change stance, you use action points. You've got so many action points. If you click on your unit, you do have a lot of information down here in the bottom. For example, these light archers, says they're steady. There's a number of phases. What are they? I think they're steady, disorientated, no, steady, disrupted, fragmented and broken, that they go through in stages. And if they get damaged, or they undergo like dice roll checks, and they can go down the orders, and if they break, they flee from the field, or they try to flee from the field with a small chance of rallying. So the more damage you do to the enemy, the more likely they are to break or move down, or take a dice roll and move down through steady, disrupted, fragmented and broken. The archers and crossbowmen have a certain amount of ammo as well, 5 turns worth, but they can still fire after that, but at a reduced effectiveness. Certain amount of AP points, certain amount of strength points, depending on the unit you're having a look at. And importantly as well, their quality is important, because their quality will determine how many. I think it determines how many casualties they take before they start to take dice rolls to become steady, disrupted, fragmented or broken. So that's kind of that in a very quick and summarised way. Now, I haven't read the manual. After playing this game, this few of the tutorials, I think I will read the manual before I go on to any bigger battles, because this is quite a difficult game. I'm playing on a fairly low level at the moment, especially because this is a YouTube video and I don't really want to lose. This is an easy game to lose at. So to first start off with, we're going to start peppering the enemy. So we'll turn stance, which again uses our action points, and throw some arrows at these guys in the open, hopefully do them a little bit of damage. And it just tells you there that when they get damage, there's a little number appears just above the unit there. This is a 3 and it's in yellow. So they've taken 3 damage. You can see if you click on them that their strength has gone down from 124 to 121. Now these archers are just slightly out of range, so I'm going to move these forward. And I can still have got enough action points to turn and shoot, so we'll take another couple of shots at the enemy over there. Now I've got some nice units over here, but now over here I just want to entice the enemy forward. We've got the high ground. We don't want to give that up. We've got our spearmen here. They have got 4 really nice. Well, it's like 6 really nice sets of units. So let's just let them come to us to start with. So we'll end our turn. So they're all coming forward. The knights galloping forward. Their crossbowmen are shooting at our archers. I didn't zoom out enough to have a look what damage we took there. I gather we didn't take too much damage. Who did they fire at? It's just saying about zone of control here. So you have zone of controls in front of your enemies. Directly in front. It just means that there's movement. The enemy actually can't move through your zone of controls. There are other effects, but I don't want to talk too much about zone of controls at the moment. 1, because it takes too long, and 2, because I haven't read the bloody manual yet. So nothing else much has happened. They've just moved forward with their knights and their spearmen. Their sergeant at arms, I guess you'd call them. Their big boss man stayed back. So we're just going to keep throwing some arrows into these guys. 6 damage, that's quite nice. All right. Yeah, I didn't mention about the just 1 damage there. Your boss man back here, your commander, your general, whatever you want to call him, gives your units a little bit of a buff in terms of their AP points when turning and firing and stuff, so it gives them a little bit more maneuverability. I think it's if you press 3 you can see the is it 3? Yeah, there it is, 3. You can see I think the range is about 10 squares under command, and you can change your commander to different unit types if you want, and they will help them to rally and stuff like that, although of course you don't want to unless they're in melee. I don't think you can change unless they're in melee, if they're in melee. So I don't know if we can reach with these guys, not yet, but I'm going to just let them hold position there. I'm tempted to move my archers up so that we can let's hold position. Let's hold our nerves. Don't fire until we see the whites of their eyes, as they say. So they're coming forward. Their knights haven't... Yep, their knights are coming forward. They've gone into the trees a little bit. Okay, the crossbows did us another 6 damage on the left. So let's just keep firing back for now. 11 damage. That's juicy. And another 3. So you can see their damage of these skirmishing crossbowmen has gone down a fair amount, down to 96 already, so they'll soon start to take some dice rolls to check on their morale and stuff. So I think these guys will be in range now. I'm going to concentrate on the flank here and throw some crossbows in here. Okay, it's just a matter of doing damage until they start taking dice rolls. We're going to hold our position. Now we can fire our... Yeah, let's fire some arrows into crossbows from our mounted archers into these guys. Now I'm going to move up here. I'm not going to engage right now. I think this is going to be unfavourable. Well, it's not too bad, but probably not worth attacking. We are slightly weaker than their unit, so I'm just going to hold there. But then what I'm going to try and do is get these guys to get these guys around the flank. so that we can bypass these and go kind of round. I don't know what's happened to their crossbows, are still up there somewhere. So that kind of blocks their, because we've got zone of controls, that kind of blocks their guys from getting to our units, and they'll have to engage with us. We've still got our 4 sets of units here ready to engage. We're going to move my commander up a little bit. I forgot about these guys, so we're going to move these guys up and try to use these on the flanks, our peasants. They're not very strong, but if you can get them to do a flank attack, they can do a fair amount of damage. So we'll end our turn there. Forward come the spearmen, getting into range. These spearmen have veered off actually over to the right hand side, which is, I don't know if that's good or not. There's their crossbowmen. So if we can try and get round to their crossbowmen with our knights, that might be a decent thing to do. Let's start over here again. Just keep peppering these guys. They've got to start taking, in fact they have taken a cohesion state and dropped to disrupted, and that's shown by a little yellow strip across the top of their banner there, as you can see. So we'll throw some more in and we'll hope to get them. Oh, they're taking quite some serious damage now. They're on 81, and we'll keep throwing. We can't actually throw crossbows, or can we? Yeah, into these once they hit melee, but let's throw them into these guys. Let's keep doing this. 13 is pretty decent, you know. These guys are actually out of, oh no, they're not out of range. Another 10 damage, that's pretty decent. Now over here on the right, we're going to try to get these guys around. So I think if we're going to do that, yeah, it's proving a little bit. Let's throw some more arrows in here. And I'm going to move my dudes up there. I'm hoping to get to these crossbowmen with my knights, to be honest. We're going to hold position, although it might be worth doing a little attack here, because that is very favourable to us. So I think we're going to attack here. And oh, they've actually, what happened there? I should have read that. Oh, we took a lot of damage there. Oh my goodness, we took a lot of damage there. Now I was going to move forward with my other dismounted knights, but we did take a huge amount of damage. Now I'm tempted. Yeah, so that wasn't great. I'm not sure I want to try that again, but I do want to try that again. So I'm going to try that again. Yeah, so let's just engage these guys. That looks a bit better. I'm going to bring my peasants actually out on the flank here, just to support these knights rather than anything else. We could always bring them over to the left if they don't engage. Now they're definitely going to engage with something, I think, this turn. I think we've fired everyone. Yeah, a bit disappointed there with these guys. Now I could move my commander forward to engage. It might be a good idea actually, just to come here. Now he doesn't have to engage, he could just stand there, although impact win. Yeah, we'll hold there. We'll hold there. Try and get these peasants up on the hill here a little bit. I want to see what these spearmen do. The other our spearmen are just going to hold a defensive position, and we're going to end our turn. Oh, missed. End our turn. Right, so they've now engaged in there. Yep, they've engaged the peasants. All right. Wow. Peasants took a lot of damage, gone to fragmented, and they've pushed forward as well. So that wasn't great. Now then, I'm going to stick to my original plan on the flank. Alright, but it's not looking amazing at the moment, I have to say. Okay, into melee. Even Stevens on the damage there. So what can I hit with these guys? Nothing, it seems. Let's move these out to here. Still can't hit anything. This is a bit annoying. I can't move these guys either. I'm just wondering whether that's not a flank attack because I'm not turned in the right direction. I don't want to turn away from these guys either. This is slightly annoying, I've got to say. Do you know what? I'm going to undo that move so that I can move these knights to there. because I want to, yeah, and then I'll move, actually, yeah, that's probably the better thing to do, and we'll hit these guys with our archers, just to try to take the edge off. 7 damage, that's okay. Now, these guys aren't going to last long, I don't think, against these. No, I could, no, I can't do any of that. Well, I think we need to charge into these. We've got to do them some serious damage somewhere, because they've done, that was serious damage, that's excellent. I think if we attack here as well, okay, that's a lot better. They took a cohesion test but passed, so they're going to hold position, because yeah, it's not looking great for our poor peasants over on this side. Going to move these peasants up, and I think next turn I might be able to do a flank attack, although I may need to turn them first. Now, I've still got all these dudes over on the left. We're going to keep hitting these. Oh, they're fragmented now. Although we're getting low on ammo. Just need these guys to break. It's definitely worth, I think, moving forward. These are all engaged in close combat, so I'm going to actually move my crossbowmen forward a good distance. I can still take a shot at these guys. Can I still take a shot? Oh, they're broken. Fantastic. Okay. That frees up our archers. Now we can still take a shot with these as well. And I'm going to engage these horsemen at the back here. 5 damage. Alright. I think that's kind of everything. We're engaged here now. Again, you can see these are no good really for attacking. They're just there to take the damage. And hopefully we can do something with our peasants and our crossbows next turn. And our archers are now freed up to flank around on that side. Oh, another big hit on our peasants who have broken and are now routing. So that's not good. Okay. Mounted crossbowmen are attempting to invade the charge. Okay, so they're charging our mounted crossbowmen. I've actually left the field. They may come back. It's not good that they've left the field. And they've managed to impact into our dudes here who have held. But we're not managing to flank on the right, unfortunately. All the melee's going off in the centre. Enemy took some serious damage there and some serious damage there as well. And they've gone to fragmented. I'm hoping we can break at least one set of these units this turn. So you can see our dudes over on the right have now into melee. And they're just going to be able to hold there. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to move up here. I'm still hoping to attack their crossbows. I'm going to bring these. Oh, can I not do that? Ah, I can't bring those to the right for some reason. I don't know why. Is it just because they're not... Yeah, let's face these to this way. Then they can come round and try to deal with these spearmen. Now, if I could kill off these spearmen over here, that would be pretty juicy. 98%. Please break. Okay. So they have broken. Our knights will charge them and follow them, but that does free up these guys over here. Oh, I've moved them. Have I moved them already? I guess it was because they were in melee. They can't do anything this turn, I'm guessing. So at least we've got some freed up units to deal with this big, strong spearman group over here on the right. Now we're doing really well on our left. So what we're going to do, we're going to move our archers up. Don't know whether we can get a shot. We can. I'm just going to keep peppering these guys at the back here. I want to get... can't shoot any of these, can I? No. Yeah, let's keep peppering these guys at the back. I could attack their cart as well, but the chances of taking it down are pretty minimal. Let's move these guys up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we move them to there, they should be able to take a shot. No, they can't. Ah, okay. So let's just move them. Ignore the phone for a second. And move them to there instead. Yeah, then we can take a shot. Fantastic. Alrighty. Okay. I think that's everybody moved. Let's end our turn. Okay, back into melee. Oh, a lot of damage there. Oh, they're chasing down that routed group. Now, their cavalry here or their knights, their boss, the guy in charge, the big boss man is coming over to the left to try to deal with all of our bowmen and crossbowmen coming up on that side. We've taken a bit of damage over here on the right. Okay, the Low Countries are, well, we've got a little bit back, I think. I'll just mention up here on the top left, there is the 2 bars which represent your progress towards winning the battle. Basically, if you're in the red over here, it's good, and if you're in the green, it's bad, showing how many units are routed, and then the percentage shows the percentage of units that have routed from each side. Right, so we are in a position now, I believe, to charge down these guys, which is what we should do. Well, they may pull back. Okay, they didn't pull back, but I don't know if they get a buff from being in that building or not. I'm not sure. So are we going to engage here? I'm actually facing in the wrong direction. Let's come over here with these guys. And let's just change facing here. Got to get this group under control while we try to kill off some of these guys. Now, I think I've got a flank attack here. Oh, I haven't. I need to turn them. Or did I forget to turn them? I forgot to turn them, I think, last turn. We could also do with those horse archers getting back on the field, to be honest. But let's get these archers to fire over here. Okay. You guys fire as well. Not doing too much damage. I'm just going to fire my crossbows. They might end up getting charged. Oh, that's better. The crossbowmen obviously so much better against these mounted knights than my archers, and they've become disrupted. So that was decent. That was decent. Now here they're going to hold. They're going to just hold to see what these spearmen do. We're doing okay on the right. Doing okay overall so far. The melees continue. Pretty even damage on both sides. Okay. Yeah, I think I forgot about my knights there. Oh, they took a lot of damage there on the attack. And their crossbowmen, unfortunately for them, are in melee with mounted archers. That's not going to... mounted knights. That's not going to go too well, I feel. Let's just check the damage on that. Not brilliant, to be honest, but we will attack there. I think it's because we're in unfavourable terrain and they're in favourable terrain, so I think it kind of evens it out a bit. I'll just check this one. I think we're just going to hold them and just keep them tied up. These are now in melee, which means I'm actually going to move up and do a rear attack on these guys eventually. So we're just going to probably... in fact, I'm going to attack there. Should do them a fair amount of damage. 24, fantastic. And once these turn and attack onto these guys, we should be able to do them a lot of damage. Meanwhile, these guys over here haven't attacked forward, so we're going to keep peppering them with our archers and our crossbowmen. Archers are pretty weak at the moment against these guys, but doing a little bit of damage, but the crossbowmen should do a lot more. Yeah, causing them to become fragmented. If we can break them, it would be fantastic. Not quite. Okay. So hold. Now, do you know what? I think rather than attack, I reckon we could take these... yeah, let's move up to here. Because I reckon next turn we can take these guys out here and get another group routed. Now here, let's not forget about these this time. I think we're going to get a decent side attack. This is where peasants are useful. Attacking from the side. And of course their spearmen become fragmented. 27 damage, and they're in fact routing. So that was a good little attack there by the peasants. And they've actually bumped into these guys who... the peasants rout 2 sets of spearmen. That's got to be a first, isn't it? A set of peasants routing 2 sets of spearmen. My God. Has that ever been seen before on the medieval battlefield? The melees continue, but they're in a rough spot at the moment with 40% damage already on their units. Melee continues. Just even Stevens pretty much everywhere. They took a lot of damage, and They have lost heart, guys, and we are victorious because we routed at least 40% of the enemy army and took less than 25%. So fantastic. Okay, that is that. Excellent. Let's have a look at the battlefield. Oh, that's just going back to the battlefield. Okay, fine. Can we go back from that? Not sure. I think that's it, guys. We did win. Sorry, I missed the having a look at the casualties. I don't think we took too many casualties. Let's go back to the main menu. Don't think we took too many casualties on that battle, but that was the first tutorial. I guess not too difficult a battle. I think I was on the second level up, just the one the game puts you at. So I enjoyed that. I think the game looks fantastic. There is a lot more depth to the game. We're going to going into like having a look at some of the other aspects of the game in the next two tutorials before we finally play one of the big battles and try and put it all together. So remember, this game is out, I believe, on the 4th of February, if I remember rightly. And yeah, check it out on Steam. If you want to wishlist the game, do that as well if you like the look of it. I like the look of it. I'm going to play a bit more of this game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.